Countdown has begun. NASA's Artemis II launch clock began Monday afternoon for tomorrow's manned liftoff, which will fly beyond the moon and back to Earth. KLTV7's Jamie Boyum takes us to the Tyler Junior College Planetarium for a 3D look at the journey expected.
The Artemis II crew will go where no man or woman has gone before, according to TJC Earth and Space Science Center Director Bo Hartwig.
And what's special about this is this will actually be further out than even the Apollo mission. So this will be the furthest away from Earth that humans have ever traveled.
Thanks to the TJC Planetarium, Hartwig can simulate the journey. As its name implies, this is the second Artemis mission.
So the first happened just a couple of years ago with Artemis I, and that was an uncrewed mission that went around the moon.
NASA astronauts Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christine Cook, and Canadian Space Agency astronaut Jeremy Hansen will be in the hot seats when 100 million horsepower pushes them into space. If all those horses were standing shoulder to shoulder, they would fill Tyler and Longview with a little room to spare. But maybe it's easier to imagine 160,000 Corvette engines. That would only take up about 19 acres. But I digress. The astronauts will endure 3 to 4 Gs of force before becoming weightless.
This is all in preparation to make sure everything works and is good for the Artemis III mission, which is when people will land back on the moon.
Hartwig says the goal of the Artemis program is more than coming back to Earth with samples.
The extent of what they're hoping to do is create a long-term presence on the moon. And so the Artemis mission is kind of the first steps in doing that.
So it's another small step towards lunar presence, but it's a giant leap getting there. I think I've heard that somewhere before. Jamie Boyum, KLTV 7 News.
NASA says the weather looks 80% good for the Artemis II launch tomorrow. That launch is scheduled for 6:24 p.m. Eastern Time. It's on April 1st in Florida, by the way.